The top line, President TrumpDonald John TrumpYemeni-American man kills himself after family blocked from entering U.S. by Trump admin Dershowitz on MSNBC panel, "Don't you dare accuse me of defending Trump Bannon slams Kochs. What they have to do is shut up and get with the program." Moore is doubling down on his threat to shut down the government over funding for his border wall. In a joint press conference with Italy's Prime Minister, Trump told reporters Monday he'd have no problem shutting down the government over the issue if we don't get border security. After many years of talk within the United States, I would have no problem doing a shutdown, Trump said. But Trump would not say if he would veto a spending bill in September unless it included full funding for a border wall, saying, "I'll always leave room for negotiation. I have no red line, unlike President Obama," he added. "I just want great border security." The Monday comments come after a weekend tweet in which Trump said also raised the possibility of a shutdown. "I would be willing to shut down government if the Democrats do not give us the votes for border security, which includes the wall. Must get rid of lottery, catch, and finally go to system of immigration based on merit. We need great people coming into our country," he wrote. Has he talked to the Pentagon? The Pentagon loathes shutdowns, often issuing dire warnings about the effect on readiness as the possibility gets closer. In government shutdowns, active duty troops continue to work without pay unless Congress passes separate legislation allowing them to get paid. Most of the department's civilian employees get furloughed unless they are performing jobs deemed essential to supporting ongoing military operations. One of the noticeable effects of the three-day shutdown this past January was that thousands of National Guard and Reserve troops couldn't do their weekend training despite the fact that many had already traveled to where they needed to go. Where Congress is at, the two chambers of Congress have been at odds over how much funding to provide for the wall that Trump wants to avert a shutdown. The House Appropriations Committee approved $5 billion for the wall in its Homeland Security bill last week. However, the Senate's version of the bill includes $1.6 billion to reinforce existing physical barriers. House Speaker Paul Davis Ryan how Twitter vaulted "Abolish ICE" into the mainstream. Buckle your seatbelts for 100 days of political drama before midterms. Trump faces long odds in avoiding big spending bill. Moore, Weiss, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Addison, Mitch Mitchell. McConnell Supreme Court fight becomes battle for Kavanaugh's papers. GOP Senator warns against fishing expedition for Kavanaugh documents. "It's time we start thinking about post-Trump America more." Our Kentucky met with Trump at the White House last week to discuss funding the government. Both men appeared to come away assured that they would be able to avoid a shutdown. "The president's willing to be patient to make sure that we get what we need so we can get that done," Ryan said of the border wall funding last Thursday. McConnell told WHAS Radio last Friday that he believes wall funding will probably have to wait until after the November midterms. However, he asserted that a government shutdown is not going to happen. On Monday, McConnell added that he's optimistic we can avoid a government shutdown. Get on the bus. Recall that earlier this year Trump also said he'd never sign another trillion-dollar omnibus again. Over the weekend, the Hill's novelist took a look at whether Congress will be able to pass all 12 spending bills in small packages this year. Spoiler alert, it's not looking good. For defense spending, the House has already passed its appropriations bill, while the Senate is weighing merging the Pentagon bill with the one to fund the Department of Health and Human Services. Trump opened to Iran meeting. In the same press conference where Trump issued the shutdown threat, he has also asked whether he'd meet with Iranian leaders. "Yes," he said, "it's good for the country, good for them, good for us and good for the world. No preconditions. If they want to meet, I'll meet," Trump said. Trump said he would certainly meet with Iranian leaders if they wanted to, but added that he's unsure if they're ready yet. "I do believe that they will probably end up wanting to meet," he said. "And I'm ready to meet anytime they want to. And I don't do that from strength or from weakness." I think it's an appropriate thing to do. Whiplash. Trump's willingness to meet with Iranian leaders comes about a week after his all-uppercase threat to Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, "Never, ever threaten the United States again or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence. Be cautious," Trump tweeted July 22. Trump's threat came after Rouhani warned that Americans must understand that war with Iran is the mother of all wars and peace with Iran is the mother of all peace. Key date: there's just 1 week to go before the first wave of sanctions lifted as part of the nuclear accord are set to be reimposed. When Trump announced in May he was withdrawing from the nuclear deal, the administration gave companies involved in certain types of trade until August 6 to wind down operations or face sanctions. The rest of the sanctions, including on oil purchases, are set to come back into force November 4. Ahead of the August deadline, the Associated Press reported Monday that Iran's currency plummeted to an all-time low Monday. Surprise, surprise, despite the Pentagon's protestations to the contrary, emails released last week showed it's been surprised by Trump and White House statement that affect the military. After that news, The Hill's Ellen Mitchell took a look this weekend back at 12 times the Pentagon has appeared surprised by Trump. Among the time was the White House statement the emails were on, the June 2017 statement warning the Syrian government it would pay a heavy price if it conducted another chemical weapons attack. Also on the list was that Iran tweet from last week. Take a walk down memory lane here with all the times the Pentagon's been surprised by Trump. Patience is a virtue. Also over the weekend, we teamed up with The Hill's Morgan Chaffin to try to make sense of various developments out of North Korea. Among them was Friday's news that Korean war remains had been returned by the North, as well as the news earlier in the week that the regime has begun destroying its missile engine testing site. But at the same time, Secretary of State Mike Richard Pompeo Trump admin urges troops in Afghanistan to withdraw from some areas. Report 12 times Trump surprised the Pentagon. Trump officials urged patience on North Korea more admitted to senators last week that North Korea is still producing the material necessary to make nuclear bombs. The Trump administration's message as the situation in Korea evolves has been, in the words of Pompeo to Senator, patient diplomacy, on tap for tomorrow. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee will hold a confirmation hearing for the nominees to be ambassadors to the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Ghana and Jamaica at 2:30 p.m. at the Dirksen Senate Office Building, Room 419, https://bit.ly/2v7q9. In case you missed it, The Hill, Trump's new VA chief plans to retool agency leadership. Report The Hill, Trump admin urges troops in Afghanistan to withdraw from some areas. Report The Hill, opinion, Congress smartly moves forward on American national defense in space. The Hill, opinion, test Kim's intentions to find out if this time is different. San Diego Union Tribune report, Marines lead all services in binge drinking, sex partners stars and stripes. North Korea's return of presumed U.S. war dead remains as start of long process. Associated Press, U.S. military in Africa says change is made to protect troops.